I've been doing it a lot and I still do it till this day, but I try to control it as much as I can, and that is overthinking. The most common situations that I overthink is usually in relationships and my communication with other people, with my girlfriend, with my friends. Just being around other people makes me to overthink a lot. Whenever I go out with my girlfriend or my friends, I'm like, am I dressed well? Am I talking well? Am I behaving well enough? And all of that, I get so much scared because of the different outputs that it may occur during the time that I'm out with my friends, with my girlfriend. It's just like that my brain wants to be prepared for that. So in this video, I'm gonna tell you why you do it, and I'm gonna give you some tips so that you can stop it. Okay, so first things first, what's the root of the problem? Why people overthink? Why do you make all of these different branches with so many different outputs in your brain? The number one reason is that in human psychology, let's say for example 10,000 years ago, humans were a lot scared of not being prepared for what they may face in the future. And it makes sense. Let's say for example 10,000 years ago, if you know when the winter will come, you're gonna get prepared for it. You're gonna get your resources, you're gonna get your food, you're gonna get your clothes to stay warm and to stay fit during the winter. And what caused overthinking is actually in our genes for survival. But we have evolved, we have turned to organizations, we have turned to countries and to governments so that we can organize our life, so that we can live in some sort of linear progress throughout the lifespan of a human being. Every day we wake up, we go to the work, we eat lunch, we eat breakfast, then we come home. We all know what's gonna happen next. Our life has become so predictable that we don't fear of being hungry anymore. We don't fear of not having a shelter. And this gene that has been in us for about maybe 10 to 20,000 years ago will gonna show itself through different scenarios and situations. In my case, it's based on relationships and friendships. I am so much afraid of some of the causes that may happen because the way that I acted, because some words that I said into like my relationships or my friendships, that it will make me to overthink and just make me to blow up my mind. In other cases, however, it could be people overthink because they're afraid of taking decisions. They're afraid of changing their career, maybe ending a relationship, maybe starting a new relationship. As I've said earlier, they make so many branches in their brain with different types of outputs that would lead them to overthinking it, and just their brain just goes crazy. Another common situation which people tend to overthink is deadlines, which comes from high and stressful situations. For example, if you have a deadline at your job, if you have a deadline completing a project, if you have a deadline doing a task, when you know that you won't gonna finish it on time, your brain just makes all of these branches so that it can be prepared for different outputs, for different outcomes that you may face, so that you would be ready for it. You won't be scared, you don't gonna run away from them, but to find a solution for them. The fear of all of these emotions will lead people to overthink. And all of these overthinking in these type of situations kind of come from three major reasons. The first one is most people are afraid of making mistakes. You see, they're perfectionists. They want the outcome to be perfect as possible. They don't want to make any mistakes whatsoever. And they tend to forget that they're humans. And what do humans do? They make mistakes. It's so normal, it's so common. You shouldn't be afraid of making mistakes. Every mistake is not a failure. It's a lesson that you can do, and the next step of your way to do a lot better. You shouldn't be afraid of failing or getting rejected, but instead what you should do is to learn from it. Another reason could be lack of self-confidence and just self-love. If you are not confident enough that who you are, that's what you are capable of, that you are good looking, that you are pretty, this could lead to overthinking. If you don't truly believe who you are and what you are capable of, when you get put in some sort of scenarios and situations, for example, asking a girl out, asking a boy out, or getting rejected for a job or changing your careers. You're so much afraid of the outcome because you don't believe in yourself, you don't believe in your capabilities. You start to overthink. You start to make all those branches with different outcomes so that your brain would be prepared for it. Another reason could be anxiety, which I made a video on how you can overcome anxiety. I would link it in the description or at the end of the video. So if you're interested in that, if you think you have that sort of problems, be sure to check it out. So let's get to solutions. What can we do to stop overthinking? Thing that I do when, I tend to overthink in my relationship, in my friendships, that I practice mindfulness. It will help me to just live in the present moment. And I cannot change the past, and I surely don't know what's gonna happen in the future. So practicing mindfulness will actually to help you to live in the present moment. It could be like self-gratitude. It's just enjoying what you have right now, what things are around you. This will help a lot if you are overthinking. You need to be practicing mindfulness. You need to be learning so that you can appreciate the present moment, because the things you have right now might not exist in your future. And what's the famous saying? You won't gonna know its value till it's lost. So there are so many things in your life that are valuable to you, and you won't gonna notice their value until you've lost it. So appreciate every single moment and everything you have right now, and forget about the past. You cannot change it, and you cannot control so many things that happen to you or happen in your life, and certainly you're not sure about the future. So all you got now is the present moment. Another thing that has helped me through a lot whenever I went through a breakup and I was like kind of overthinking it, like, was it this thing that I did led to breakup? Was it this that I said led to breakup? Was I not good enough? Or things like that. Is setting time limits. You need to be giving yourself a specific time limit so that you can face all of your emotions, so that you can face all of the decisions that you want to make. For example, you want to change your career, okay? You're overthinking it. You're thinking, okay, if I change my job, I can have these pros but also these cons, but if I stay in my current job, I'm gonna have these pros and I'm gonna have these cons, and you just sort of can't weigh which one you want. So setting specific time limits for yourself, it will help you to make decisions faster so that you can go on with your life. You can give yourself a day, you can give yourself 2 days, a week. It could be how long you want it to be, but within that time limit, you need to take a decision. Fun fact is that I read a book a while ago, which I forgot the name of it, but in the book it has said that, do you know why when people want to, send humans to, for example, moon or space station, why when they want to launch the rocket, it has a countdown and it starts from 10, 9, 8. You see, that's a limited time for them. In that period of 10 seconds, your brain just gonna live fully present in a moment, and it will help the astronauts a lot not to overthink, not to hit back and say, man, fuck this, I'm not doing this. So setting time limits is gonna be really helpful for you if you are overthinking over a relationship. It could be whatever that you cannot be sure of yourself. The last tip that I want to give you so that you can overcome overthinking is having physical activity. And this has roots sort of based in our ancient times. When you have physical activity, your mind just gonna be calm. It could be as simple as walking for 15 minutes a day. It could be going into a fitness class, anything. But physical activity is so important, and it has evolved us through the time that we are. So many problems that we face today is because so many people have 9-to-5 jobs where they just sit, and after that, when they go home, they're sitting again. Like, there's no physical activity whatsoever. You surely know it, that our brain and our body are in connection together. So if there is an imbalance in one of those two, all the things just gonna be a disaster for you. By simply walking for 30 minutes, by simply, going to gym 2 times, 3 times a week, you're gonna decrease your stress levels a ton. You're gonna be a lot more calm. You're gonna be a lot more thoughtful. By having simple physical activity, you just sort of tap out into your ancient genes that you have, and it's just gonna make your mind and thoughts a lot calmer and a lot more clear for you to make decisions, for you to not overthink stuff. Always remember that overthinking is normal, but overdoing is not. So with these tips that I gave you, you can practice them daily. You can practice them in the situations that you think you overthink a lot. Certainly, you can become better a lot by controlling it. And I always say in my videos that to be patient with yourself, to try to learn a new thing every day, to try to improve by only 1% every day. So this was for today's video. Hope that I have solved your problems. If you enjoyed it, don't forget to smash that like button and subscribe. It will help me a lot and it will make me a lot happy. See you guys in the next one.